Hello everyone, my name is Mace and welcome back to Entitled Parents, where entitled parents can ruin a dream vacation to the United States or reenact a famous scene from The Shining. Entitled parents have a diverse set of skills, but that doesn't mean they can get away with using such skills. With great power comes a lawsuit, a restraining order, or isolation. You'll only know by listening to today's episode of Entitled Parents. Our first story for today is EM and her daughter ruined the trip I've been planning for 20 years. Guys, I was thinking about how lucky I am that I never really had any EPs to deal with, and then boom! My brain was like, hang on, remember Karen? Without trying to identify her, this woman's name was literally Karen, and whoo boy, she certainly showed her true colors. A little backstory. From the first time I saw Hocus Pocus as a wee 7-year-old back in the 90s, I wanted to visit Salem. I'm obsessed with autumn and Halloween, but being English, it was never a huge thing growing up. My parents always tried their best to make Halloween special though, and I've grown up to throw a party every year. I've never found anyone willing/able to take my dream trip to the States in October with me though. Enter entitled daughter, Edie. Edie was a work colleague and we hit it off straight away. Long story short, we discovered that we both wanted to visit Boston and Salem, then Maine, so we booked it. Finally, I get to live out my dream! Enter EM. For some reason, ED wanted her mother to come with us. ED was 23 at the time and I was 28, but you know, fair enough. 3 people is more fun. I was so wrong. They ignored me almost the entire trip unless they wanted something. I have severe OCD. Being given the cold shoulder makes me think I've done something terrible / I am too annoying / everyone hates me. Immediately took the 2 king-size beds at our Boston Airbnb, leaving me with a fold-out camp bed, and poured huge scorn on everything I suggested we do. Ghost tours, learning the history of the places we were in, visiting cool places, in favor of spending hours in Victoria's Secret. Yeah, VS is cool and all, but we're in another country with super cool history. The worst part came when we arrived in Salem, my all-time #1 destination. ED started a conversation about my OCD and the fact that I used to self-harm years ago. Why? Why start that conversation? And EM looked at me in the eye and said,
I don't sympathize with you. I don't believe in mental illness. It's just people whining.
Because I couldn't punch her, I walked off to have a bit of a cry. I pretty much left them to their own devices after that. I felt safe enough on my own in Salem, and all the people were so nice when I blathered on how I wanted to visit for 20 years. Gave me a lot of discounts, which is something I never expected as a Brit. I even got a tattoo to commemorate the trip. The rest of the holiday was extremely strained, and I was so glad to come home. They ruined it for me. I would love to go again without them. Needless to say, ED and I are no longer friends. Edit. Thank you all for being so kind, offering to come with me and show me how great everything is. You've made my day. Thank you. I am happy that our OP did get to enjoy her trip in Salem. The only issue I have is with this mother. The mother has one of 2 things going on. Either she is oblivious and needs to re-educate herself about mental illness, or she has mental illness herself and can't comprehend the fact that it's a thing. Either way, she needs a professional. This story is called EP Tries to Kill Me, Starts a Fight, and then Loses Her Kids. Sorry about the formatting, on mobile. This story takes place about a year or 2 ago, but still angers me to think about. Our cast: EP, entitled parent, PC, poor kid, AM, amazing manager. I have a severe peanut allergy, so bad that even a quarter of a peanut can kill me easily. I normally have an EpiPen on me, but I haven't been able to buy a new one after I lost the last one. Long story. I shop at a local supermarket I'll call ASDA. It's English Walmart. In our ASDA, there's a salad bar that works as you expected, but without any staff overseeing it. I was filling my box, and then EM and her son walked up. This is where our story begins. "Excuse me, can I get to the pasta?" a voice beside me asks. I say sure and step back, and she partially fills her box before stepping aside. I step back to the pasta and take some tikka, which I just realized, and as I take it out, I see a peanut sitting in the pasta. On closer inspection, there's also peanuts in between the trays, hidden but visible. I then heard it, scattering noises. I look over and see the woman spilling her peanuts over the salad as she reaches over to get some food. She was actively contaminating the food. If I hadn't seen it, I could have easily died. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you can't just spill your peanuts into the salad bar." She glared at me. "I'm not. It's spilling on accident. It's not my fault." I was gobsmacked. "I'm sorry, but accident or not, you need to take responsibility for what you're doing. I could have easily died from the peanuts in the pasta." She scoffed. "Stop being such a pussy just because you don't like nuts." "I'm highly allergic to nuts, ma'am." She scoffs, "Bullshit," before throwing her half-empty bag of peanuts at me. I should mention this allergy is very quick and will affect me on any type of contact with me, so I soon began becoming red around the areas she hit, so bear in mind, the next few quotes, my head is swelling. "What the f***, you bitch?" I blurred out as my face begins to burn. She was pissed and began screaming about me being a brat and disrespectful to my elders, blah blah blah. I began to choke and fell to the ground as I saw AM run around the corner before injecting me with the EpiPen. After a few minutes, I was okay and the woman was being held until police arrived. She was arrested for assault. She also lost custody of her child. I know because I met her husband in the store a few weeks later with PC, and after apologizing for his ex-wife's behavior, he told me what happened. TLDR, woman doubts my peanut allergy, almost kills me, and is arrested and loses her kid. What the f*** is wrong with this woman? I mean, she purposely tried to trigger somebody's allergy after he mentioned specifically that he has this allergy. This kind of hits close to home as my own fiance has allergies to pepper, of like the regular ground pepper that you get like on any restaurant table, or even bell peppers. But it's not as severe as OP's, but still, she'll still end up in the hospital if she has any of that in her food. It aggravates me to no end that people are so ignorant about other people's well-being. I'm glad to hear that you're okay though, OP. Our last story for today will be Mom sneaks onto summer camp at night to kidnap her whiny kid. I used to work at a summer camp in northern Ontario from the time I was 16 to the time I was 25, so I have many stories about parents like this. Me, my evil twin, EM, entitled Mom, and WK, whiny kid. So this happened in my first year, and I was pretty new to counseling. I had a kid who was always homesick and would cry 4 to 5 times a day. I talked to the dad about it, and he said that the kid's mom babied him, and dad was trying to toughen him up a bit. He told me that unless anything was serious, to just ignore it. So for the first 4 days, I tried to help the kid, but he obviously didn't want to participate, and would cry whenever someone tried to talk to him. I would let him sit out, and then he would participate a little. When we were approaching the first weekend, I realized that my cell was missing. I thought maybe I misplaced it, and went to bed. I woke up to the banging on the door. The kids were freaking out. I walked over and opened it to see a 40-year-old Karen with wild eyes. EM. Where is he? Me. Who? EM. Where is my son? Me. Miss, we have a very strict policy. You can't be here right. At this point, she tried to push past me. I grabbed onto either side of the door. WK.
Mommy! He's the one who's bullying me!
I turned my head just enough to see the little with my phone. EM.
Let me through, you piece of shit!
At this point, she's pushing with the force of 1,000 EMs. I let go of the door and two-handed shove her. She topples over, and I slam the door to the cabin, locking it. I grabbed my phone from the little brat and called my camp director. She told me that she would call the father and the police. We made it very clear to the parents that it's trespassing to come at the camp at night. WK is crying and screaming for his mom. EM is slamming against the door using her "Can I speak to your manager?" strength. She's screaming about me being a pedophile and how I'm her child. I hear her going to the other cabins trying to get in, but thankfully all the staff have been informed to lock the doors. Finally, I hear the cars pull up, but then I hear more slamming. She broke through the door with a baseball bat. I felt like I was in The Shining. All of the kids are screaming while the little brat is smiling and yelling for his mom. I shoved all the kids into the bathroom and told them to lock the door behind them. I grabbed a broom waiting for the battle with the evil being, but just as she was getting the door open, 2 police officers tackle her to the ground outside. Her face was purple and she looked a lot like Grimace. EM. My baby! No, let me see him! The cops drag her away. I was later informed that the father and mother had divorced. They shared custody, but the mother was mentally unbalanced. She was later admitted to the mental hospital. The kid isn't so much a brat anymore, as dad has full custody. I can just imagine this mother just bashing through the door with this baseball bat, and she just pops her head through, but instead of "Here's Johnny," all you hear is "My baby! Where's my baby?" While everyone else is just screaming, and you have the camp counselor just holding this broom ready to beat her face in. So stupid. Oh. I want to thank everyone for listening in. I'm trying to improve everything that I can, so please let me know what I can do better in the comments below. If you liked what you heard, please leave a like and subscribe to be notified of future videos. Thank you all for listening, and I wish you all a wonderful day. I step back to the pasta and take some taika. What is that word?